Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's April 3rd, 2017. Google has a Google Doodle for today. It is a tribute to the man who built the Sears Tower in Chicago, at the time the world's tallest building. It has since been renamed the Willis Tower. What I'm going to show you is why this man is receiving a Google Doodle tribute on what would have been his 88th birthday. He died 36 years ago at age 52, but there's a very specific reason he's getting this Google Doodle tribute today, the start of the 2017 MLB baseball season. Opening day was yesterday. 3 games were played. Today, the remaining teams will start their season. If you missed my work last year in spring training, I said why the Cubs would win the World Series and why it had to do with this very building. Sears Tower, Willis Tower, which is 108 stories tall. Just in case you're new here, we're going to talk about the language of gematria. This man who built the 108-story building dropped dead of a heart attack. Heart attack has gematria of 108 at age 52. I'm going to show you how the Sears Tower is a tribute to the Tower of Babel from Genesis in the Bible. Tower of Babel has gematria of 52, and this man dropped dead at age 52 from a heart attack. In Genesis 10:8, the man is introduced who builds the Tower of Babel. So we're going to put this all together. The Cubs broke the 108-year drought in Chicago for the World Series. I'm going to show you how this all comes together very clearly. So today, this man would have turned 88 years old. He was born April 3rd, 1929. His name is Fazlur Rahman Khan, a name with 88 gematria. And real quick about that number, think about the film Back to the Future. You know, the time travel movie. In that film, whenever they time travel, they travel in their car at the speed of 88 miles per hour. That film predicts the Cubs World Series. The film was off by 1 year. The film said they would win in 2015. They ended up winning in 2016. Anyhow, the number 8 represents the infinite loop of time. Numbers are symbols. 8 represents the infinite loop of time. It's why they time travel at 88 miles per hour and Back to the Future. In this case, this man's getting a tribute at what would have been his 88th birthday. He would have turned 88 today if he was still alive. His name in gematria sums to 88 as well as 74, just like the word Jewish. The Jewish faith has Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism, and numbers. What I am showing you, gematria, is mostly a Jewish practice. Just real quick, the overlap. Follow the ordinal. Gematria, 74. Like English, 74. Like Masonic, 74. Like Jewish, 74. Which even has the 88 connection. So anyhow, this man getting this tribute on what would have been his 88th birthday. He dropped dead from a heart attack, and again, he built the world's tallest building at the time, the 108-story Sears Tower. We're going to talk about how Sears Tower connects to today's date, April 3rd, 2017. This number 108, very special. In the language of gematria, which is geometry within language, geometry equals 108 in English ordinal and reverse ordinal. It's very rare for a word to have the same numbers forwards and back. Ordinal is A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, up to Z, the 26th letter is 26. Reverse ordinal is just the opposite. A is 26, B is 25, C is 24. You count backwards all the way to Z is 1. So forwards and backwards, geometry, a perfect match. With regards to the Cubs breaking the 108-year drought of no World Series, Major League equals 108. Again, the tallest building in Chicago. Now the Willis Tower, it used to be the Sears Tower, 108 stories. As I pointed out last year, Willis Tower, what the building has been renamed, has this gematria of 57, just like World Series. It's truly all this scripted. This nation, this world, it is run by an order. It is Masonic, it is Jewish. People call it the Illuminati, the New World Order. What you need to know is this order operates by the numbers on everything. It's all about control, controlling the mind's eye of the masses and doing it ritualistically with this ancient knowledge of gematrias and operating by a numerical code. So, in the Bible, Genesis 10:8 introduces Nimrod, who's said to be one of the first Freemasons with Tubal-Cain. Nimrod is who created the first Freemason construction project, the Tower of Babel, and he is introduced in Genesis 10:8. In the King James Version of the Bible, the verses are coded in numbers. His verse, "And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth." What the verse says, that has gematria of 235. The reason why is because the Freemason compass is set at 23.5 degrees. This number has everything to do with the tropics, the Tropic of Cancer, the Tropic of Capricorn, which are at 23.5 degrees north and 23.5 degrees south. They measure time, they measure the solstices. This is the ancients' way of keeping track of time. And with regards to today, April 3rd, it's the 93rd day of the year. To the occult, Saturn is the keeper of time. In English ordinal, Saturn equals 93. They tell us the sun is 93 million miles away. In the Kabbalah cipher, the word time even has gematria of 93. 93, special number. Here we are on the 93rd day of the year, a special tribute in time. We were just talking about 88 in time. Baseball, America's pastime. Today's tribute has a lot to do with baseball again. But anyhow, think about this. Genesis 10:8 codes these numbers. 10:8 is connected to geometry. You know, the compass, which is set each leg at 23.5 degrees for the Freemason symbol, that is your primary instrument in geometry. Any of us who took middle school, high school geometry very well remember using our compass, making circles. The Tower of Babel was a circular structure. If you don't know about the Tower of Babel, Nimrod built the biggest, tallest tower in the world. It upset God. God thought these people were too arrogant. You know, they weren't respecting God. And so he put a curse on them. And then all of a sudden, nobody could speak the same language. Everyone became confused. Story from Genesis, old Bible story. So Tower of Babel equals 52, Genesis 10:8, the 108-story Sears Tower built by this man who dropped dead from a heart attack at age 52. You see how this works? It's sick, truth seeker. And Google, who has this doodle today, understand that Google is run by this same gang. These people are interested in control, a search engine that collects everybody's data and information. Think about it. Babel also has the gematria of 113, special number to Freemasonry, special number in the Bible, relevant to Jesus. Just a little more documentation. And also this year, with this happening at the beginning of the baseball season, this season will end in the 113th World Series. The day he died, this man who built the tower, he died on a date with 112 numerology. The Cubs just won the World Series, the 112th World Series, breaking the 108-year drought. Definitive proof of truly how scripted it all is, if you really think about it. This man died in 82, all part of the planned ritual of having the Cubs win in the 112th World Series. This is how sick it is. This is what I've been explaining. And last year, like I said in spring training, Chicago's the Zionist Mecca. Part of the reason they would also win the 112th World Series. These people are into mathematics. Mathematics, 112. 1 + 1 = 2. Look at the gematria of circle. It all comes back to the gematria and mathematics of the circle. In Kabbalah, it's 88, where we began. The circle, the infinite loop of time. So anyhow, today's date with 44 numerology, number connected to killing. This is a tribute to a man who was murdered on purpose, ritualistically, who also built the Sears Tower, which has the gematria of 44. You know? And since we're talking about circles and mathematics and the English language, remember, when you divide 22 by 7, when you divide 22 by 7, you get the number for pi, 3.14. In the English ordinal, 22 divided by 7 equals 314. There's 360 degrees in a circle. 360 equals 227. 22 divided by 7, pi. Reverse reduction, 88. We just saw how in the Kabbalah cipher, circle is 88. And all of these ciphers are interrelated. Our whole language based on this system. Ancient knowledge in the Hebrew alphabet, the ancient Jewish alphabet. And, you know, if you doubt it's Freemasonry, Judaism, you're wrong. And, you know, it's very clear you're wrong. Look at Google Doodle just from the other day. Look at what's front and center. When you look at this real quick, what image jumps out at you the most? Is it not the Star of David pretty much front and center? And remember, the Jewish psychopaths at the top, almost everything to them comes back to anal sex and truly fucking people in the ass. This is another topic, but it is very real. It's why in Hollywood, in the music industry, with these professional athletes, so many of these people are turned into homosexuals. For a lot of people to become stars, understand who's running the show, who's choosing who the stars are, it's the Freemasons and Jews at the top. They are making people commit sodomy. They're making people get fucked in the ass. They're making people fuck other people in the ass. In Freemasonry, it is a common initiation ritual for people to have to fuck a goat in the ass. And let's not forget the Cubs and the Curse of the Billy Goat and the Detroit Tigers. Remember, Curse of the Billy Goat has the same gematria as Masonic, as the Synagogue of Satan. Anyway, right next to your Star of David, what do you have? You have this pink-blue shirt. You have this man-woman symbol. The Zionist Jews are effectively making the men of the world into women. They have purposefully injected estrogen into the water. They're giving all of this homosexual programming. They're telling the young people it's cool to be transgender. This is the New World Order agenda. The reason they want to make the men a bunch of you-know-whats is because they want to soften them up. The men are the only threat to the powers that shouldn't be. If you turn them into a bunch of girls, you know, you've squashed the threat. And that's what they've done. And that's the world we're already living in. A bunch of people who make excuses for these tyrants, who seemingly like getting fucked in their ass. You know, Google Doodle with the Star of David. Google always putting these articles up. Internet cracking down on racism. Hate speech. And then you click on the article and all there is how they're cracking down on anti-Semitism. Meanwhile, all these, you know, assholes who hide behind their screen are on the internet calling everyone nigger. That's all you see on the internet. Everyone calling everyone nigger. This is what these articles should be calling out, but instead they're saying the internet's cracking down on anti-Semitism. Meanwhile, that's not even happening anywhere in the world because there's no Semitic people left who are Jews. Just false Jews. The Synagogue of Satan. But just look at this image they put out. A handicapped person that's left out. He's looking up to the guy with the rainbow G. Oh, we haven't figured that one out, right? We got the homosexual shirt in the middle, and we got the rainbow G over here. You know? You got the Islamic person to the side of center. It's not their show, it's the Zionist Jew show. You got the long cross, more like the satanic cross, with this sinister look. Purple, the color of, in gematria that sums to 88, like words such as poison and program. You got the black man who they've given the mathematics-related shirt showing intelligence. But at the same time, this is part of a sick joke. The Zionist Jew media always reinforces to black people that intelligence isn't cool. You know, be hip, listen to rap music, dribble a basketball. It never associates intelligence with black people in this Zionist Jew media. It's all part of the joke. And also there's a sicker joke there. E is the 5th letter. You know, they like to code 5 and 9 on black people because it has the 42 stamp, like Black History Month, like the word we were just talking about, nigger, like the slang term brothers, like the word slavery, like the leaders of, you know, the civil rights movement, Malcolm X, Martin. Think about the sitcom Martin. His apartment number is 42. Think about Jackie Robinson, 42. All this stuff is sick. And then behind them, they have the old handicapped man, you know, doing stuff back here with the hand shadows. But yeah, this stuff is sick. And every time Google Doodle does a tribute, no matter how sweet they try to make it seem, it's always sick. There's always something dark and demented behind it. This is how the powers that shouldn't be work. I mean, it's just like all the cartoons that they put out for children. As an adult, when you watch these things, you're like, oh my God, why did they put that in there? It's all about sick subliminal programming. By the numbers. Always. You know? The whole world is essentially being run on Kabbalah. And this is all part of the Kabbalah system. Kabbalah, thousands of years old. So I think we covered it all. Why this man dropped dead at 52. You know, why the building was 108 stories tall as the tallest building in the world. It's all biblical. Genesis is the first book of the Bible. Part of the Old Testament, which the Jewish faith goes by. Genesis. Chicago, the Zionist Mecca. That's all for now, Truth Seeker. Until next time.